What is up, guys? That guy Danny here, and I hope you guys are doing well because I have a surprise for you in the shape of this Ziploc bag, because in it contains a lot of money, a lot of bills, a lot of coins. Being in Cuba for almost 5 years, you learn a lot of things about the country. And one of the interesting things is that it employs a dual currency system, which could be pretty confusing for a first timer. So in today's video, my friend and I are going to help break that down for you so you don't have to.
Let's do this.
So we're going to be answering 4 questions today. What is the currency of Cuba and its use cases? Where can you get Cuban currency? What are the exchange rates when compared to other world currencies? Can you use US dollars directly in Cuba? And how to get money from abroad in case you need it. So without further ado, let's go. Alright, so there are 2 official currencies in Cuba. We have the CUC and the CUP. The CUP stands for Cuban peso, right? But we locals call it Moneda Nacional. Now the CUC is the Cuban convertible peso. CUP comes in bills of 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, and 1,000, and can be identified by seeing faces of important figures in Cuban history printed on these bills. The CUP also comes in coins of 20 cents, 1, and 3 pesos, and they also seem to follow the trend of having important people or figures on them. Now the CUC comes in bills of almost the same, except there's no, well, to my knowledge, there's no 500 or 1,000 CUC bills. And you can identify them with the words pesos convertibles are usually written on them. And also, they are often printed with monuments and statues. In terms of coins, there's the 5 cents, 10 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, and 1 CUC. So what's the relationship between these 2 currencies? It's 1 CUC to 1 US dollar. 1 CUC can be equal to 23, 24, or 25 pesos, depending on where you go to change it, where you go to spend it. People call the CUP more of the local currency, and the CUC is more like for tourists. CUP is what you will be spending for the majority of things. You can use the CUP for street food. You can use it to catch the national buses, in taxis, on motorcycles, horse carriages too, depending on where you are. Now for the CUC, you mostly use it in higher, like when you're going to higher end restaurants, or if you're paying for something that's a lot more expensive in tourist places. You can also use it to pay for certain buses that take you to different areas, different provinces in Cuba. In Havana is where you're probably most likely going to be using CUC. Right? If you're going to any other province, you'll probably want to have Moneda Nacional on hand. If you must take CUC, take it in smaller denomination, because from my experience, it's very hard sometimes to get change for when you're buying stuff. Right? In most places, you should be able to pay in either CUC or CUP. You usually have the price tag of both of them listed for you.
It's apparently illegal to import or export Cuban money outside of the country. So when you first come in to Cuba, offhand you don't have any money. So what do? You have to carry the money that you have to the Casa de Cambio or the Cadeca to be exchanged for the Cuban currency. They accept US dollars, Canadian dollars, Mexican pesos, Japanese yen, the British sterling pound. These currencies are the most widely accepted ones, with the US dollar being the least economical. Other places can exchange your money as well, such as banks and hotels. But there are other means of exchanging your money that are not as legitimate, and these are the street vendors of money. I'm not suggesting that people take this route. If you can, it's always best to go to the banks or hotels and use the services that they have, as it is a bit safer. Now, the advantage with the street is that the exchange is a bit better, yet there's a possibility that you'll be scammed. Okay, now let's talk conversion. And this could be a bit tricky, so bear with me. 100 US dollars ideally should be 100 CUC. Before 2020, 100 US dollars by unofficial means was 100 US to 92 to 97 CUC. By official means of converting money, 100 US dollars was equivalent to 87 CUC. That is because of the 10% tax on the US dollar. Now that we're in 2020, the government announced a plan to totally wipe out the CUC from Cuba's binary currency system. So, with the introduction of this plan and the introduction of certain dollar stores in the country, the CUC has been a bit devalued. So today, with these two factors in mind, 100 US dollars is now equivalent to 105 to 110 CUC. Using US dollars here in Cuba is very limited and not very widespread. With the exception of certain dollar stores that are reopening now, you can use US dollars, but the catch is you don't pay with the US dollar. You use a card to make the payments. It's been my experience here in Cuba that you can use US in certain parts of the airport.
Let's say you're in Cuba and you manage to go bankrupt and you need some money, right? How do you go about doing that? You could use a credit card, right? But I don't think you can actually swipe with credit cards physically in the stores. But I could be wrong, right? Check out your bank. In terms of debit cards, they do work, right? I know some people who have Visa debit cards and they are able to withdraw money from the ATMs here. All of these regulations, they change almost in a blink of an eye, so check out your bank. You can also get money from Western Unions. They do exist in the country. If you're in any city, like Havana or Santiago de Cuba, ATMs will probably be fairly common. But other than that, you might have a hard time trying to find ATMs in the country. So always bring cash, because Cuba is actually more of a cash using country. It's always good to have some on hand to avoid problems. Alright guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it wasn't too much of an overload.
Like, comment, and subscribe, and write in the comments. Comments! Write in the comments some suggestions on the next one, and let us know.
And let us know what questions you have, and we'll try to answer it. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah. Hope this one was helpful. See you guys in the next one.